Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. It is a pleasure to address you as president. I do so mindful of the words in our mission statement that animate all we do here at Mount Zion Temple, a welcoming and vibrant Jewish spiritual home. The high holidays evoke many memories for me. Growing up, my family attended the Hebrew Benevolent Congregation, known as the Temple in Atlanta. To me, the senior rabbi, Jacob Rothschild, was scary and imposing, as was the sanctuary, which was modeled on King Solomon's temple with its golden ark and the large choir. My siblings and I spent high holiday services playing with our mother's charm bracelets to entertain ourselves. We were members of the temple, but not connected to temple life. In college, I went to Hillel, and then after graduation, I found myself at that young adult crossroads of what now? On my first Rosh Hashanah in New York in 1985, I walked confidently to the Town and Village Synagogue on East 14th Street, where a stern man asked for my ticket. Ticket? I asked. I promptly burst into tears and generously was told that I could attend the services and even return for Yom Kippur. I went, but I didn't return. Later in New York for the high holidays, I went to Hillel at NYU and Columbia. And then when I moved to Minnesota, I went to Hillel at the U, where Rabbi Sharon Stiefel warmly welcomed everyone. And I quote, "Whether you are here for the first time or for the first time in a long time." I was always one of those first in a long time folks. My lack of a home congregation became even more apparent in 1998 when David and I were planning our wedding. Two of our college friends who had become rabbis each declined to marry us because it was an intermarriage. David, you see, is a lapsed Unitarian, if that's even possible. We finally found Rabbi Richard Davis from Yonkers, who was happy to officiate since we were getting married close by. But since we didn't know him, we thought we should have a backup. Deep down, I knew we needed our own Jewish congregation, our community, our own durable relationship with a congregation and a rabbi. So I'd like to introduce you to the temporary solution we found in 1998. I'd like to introduce you to Sam. Sam, who doesn't have a last name and doesn't generally speak, is the first rabbi to whom both David and I felt connected. I mean, you can't see very well, but if you could see, Sam is about 3 inches tall. He's very friendly. He has a tallis and a kippah, and he's ready to go. He was in David's breast pocket on our wedding day as our backup rabbi. Fortunately, Rabbi Davis did show up, and though he was 15 minutes late, it was a wonderful ceremony, and Sam, as you can see, has been with us ever since. I won't detain you with the next decade, but I'll note that when we entered Mount Zion in 2007, that started a path of belonging that soon suffused our entire family. We saw this in the Jewish education and community enjoyed by our sons Peter and Alex, who now as young men have strong Jewish identities, in the warm embrace David has always felt, and in my own increasing and now full immersion in Mount Zion. We have found a welcoming Jewish spiritual home here, as have, I hope, all of you. We feel especially connected to the clergy who all have last names and can speak. Which brings me to this moment and the honor of speaking to you now. As president, I think about the whole of Mount Zion, our community, our clergy and staff, our budget, and our future. This is an exciting time for Mount Zion. As many of you know, the board recently adopted a vision, mission, derech, or path toward the year 2040, and strategic directions that will guide us for many years. We had input from hundreds of you, and enjoyed unanimous board approval. We're already seeing some of the strategic direction work take shape through increased educational opportunities about Jewish ritual and practice, and the Kivun implementation leadership team is hard at work. On the staffing front, there has been a lot of movement. We were sad to see Sue Summit step down from leadership of our religious school after 8 years, during which she navigated the pandemic and invigorated our youth. We're honoring Sue and our religious school faculty in our annual campaign, which you'll learn more about in a few days. At the same time, we are thrilled to welcome Alicia Sawyer as our new religious school director. Alicia is diving in, reimagining and restructuring some of the curricula, and gearing up to welcome over 150 students when religious school begins on October 1st. Later this year, our longest-serving team member, Julie Beckman, will retire after an astonishing double-high 36 years of service as clergy assistant. We will miss Julie dearly. She makes so much happen behind the scenes, us in very good shape, with a congregation that is energized, connected, and present. Lahitраот Shai, we'll see you soon as a member. So that may sound like a lot of transition, but remember that our 4 clergy, Rabbis Spilker and Adler and Cantor Strauss Klein and Spilker, have a combined total of 89 years of service with us. And our staff members, Janelle Norlian, Teresa Matzik, Amy Dolny, and Elias Pastrana Navarro, bring 62 more. This is astonishing continuity, as firm a foundation as the concrete which supports our landmark building. We have also been fortunate that Larry Solomon will soon step out of retirement. Thank you, Larry. As interim executive director, beginning after Yom Kippur. And our search for a new executive director is going very well. With much new and reimagined programming, reading the bulletin and weekly updates leaves me awestruck. Lay leaders are renovating our caring community, and our young people's engagement continues to expand. Thank you, Abby Gore, for your expert leadership. Financially, we are solid, though with more members and more ideas, there's always room to add programs and invest in more resources. So please, approach the annual campaign, your dues commitments, and your planned giving with that in mind. It also is important to note, looking ahead, that our remarkable building, with amazing light, designed by renowned modernist architect Eric Mendelsohn and completed nearly 70 years ago, is still operating with much of its original heating system. If you contemplate your residence and scale that to a building of our size, you know that replacing that will be a giant commitment. As Ecclesiastes asks us, how can one be warm alone? We need each other on this one, and you can expect more information about this in the time ahead. In sum, we all help live our mission of being a vibrant and welcoming Jewish spiritual home. Thinking about the year behind us and the year ahead, I'll leave you with a thought from our derech, or path. In the near term, we will focus on gratitude and seek joy, even in a time of great upheaval. And we will all do our part as members of Mount Zion, to quote our vision statement, to envision a community and a world where all people experience shalom, wholeness and peace, tzedek, justice, shayachut, belonging, and simcha, joy. Shabbat shalom and Shana Tova.